And I think O'Shea Dukes Jackson is kind of like a comedian or something, I guess, because he does a lot of comedy content. There are some people who, unfortunately, think that getting attention by any means necessary is the best way to go.
So you guys know I am so petty. I might change my name from O'Shea Duke Jackson to Petty Shay Jackson, but that's what your boy do, man. I'm out here dusting it up on these content streets. And as you know, I've been doing a few videos about what's been going on with Brother Jay Morrison. Stop the show. Let me not call that girl a brother, man. Jay Morrison and Dr. Boyce Watkins. Now, as we know, Dr. Boyce Watkins is implicit in the failing Tulsa real estate fund. And Dr. Boyce Watkins has not appreciated the videos that I've made about him. So much so that Dr. Boyce Watkins has been dropping me some comments. Maybe you can see it here. And now he's in Iceland right now where he should be on vacation, but he's out here worried about me and pocket watching and JT. And he made a video on the Your Black World channel out there doing some Negro babble, trying to take some more shots. But I really want to do this video as an expose on Dr. Boyce Watkins and to teach the black community that as black people, we have to be accountable for how we treat each other in business. And that's what you're going to find out today. Dr. Boyce Watkins is a pro-black or a B1. And I'm also in the B1 community. But what you're going to find out here in this video is there are two things that pro-blacks try to do, the fake ones. Number one, they want to hold white people accountable for everything they do. And number two, they want to hold black men accountable for everything they do. But they never hold black women accountable, and they never hold themselves accountable. And whenever they make mistakes, they're always going to try to shift the argument and be unaccountable in the end. And the only reason why they never want to hold black women accountable, because they want to use black women as their financial gain and get them emotionally tied up and give them money. That's the only reason why they want to do it. But I'm going to prove to you in today's video that that's all scamming pro-blacks want to do. They want to go ahead and shift blame, have babbling arguments, and lie. So let's get into the video.
Wanted to send a note kind of to a couple of brothers I've seen on the internet who've done a lot of content. They have a lot of subscribers on their YouTube channels. And I guess they entered the YouTube game maybe a couple of years ago, right? And I've seen this a lot because I've been doing a lot of stuff on content-wise for about 15, 16 years, something like that. And one guy's name is JT.
And you're still not good after all that time. 16 years, and you're still dust as hell. You're a guy who's a business finance major. You can't even make a simple thumbnail, and you have a trash setup. After all of these years with your analog ass. I mean, what are you doing? Are you living in antiquity? I mean, that's how terrible everything has with your production, all that. But let's go back to struggle streaming it up. Let's get back to the lies.
JT the pocket watcher. That's what he calls himself, a pocket watcher, which I don't know why anybody would call themselves a pocket watcher. I think you should watch your own pockets. But whatever, it is what it is. And there's another guy who's named O'Shea Dukes Jackson.
It's O'Shea Duke Jackson, not Dukes Jackson, Mr. PhD. I mean, can't you read?
And I think O'Shea Dukes Jackson is kind of like a comedian or something, I guess, because he does a lot of comedy content. Like he'll take a thumbnail and put tears on somebody's eyes, or he'll say, so-and-so destroyed.
Quasi, put up a tear of me, like a thumbnail like that. Like, yeah, he's right. So
destroyed, blah, blah, blah. Or this person destroyed that person. That person destroyed so-and-so's career. Mm-hmm. And I applaud these brothers because, it's hard to build a YouTube channel.
Did you just spit on the Iceland's ground? That was nasty, bro.
And I get it. Attention is a commodity. Mm-hmm. There are some people who, unfortunately, think that getting attention by any means necessary is the best way to go. But one of the things I want to do, and as you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live.
Notified of this dusty ass setup. Let's.
One thing I wanted to kind of talk, and let me know if you can hear me, by the way. Give me a yes if you can hear me.
We can hear how dusty you are.
Some background noise. I want to make sure I'm coming through all right.
Because you don't invest in your.
And
you don't invest
one
in
of the
your
things
stuff.
I wanted to kind of talk about is something that I think all young black men should consider. You know, I'm not a young black man. I guess I'm more OG status. I'm 52 years old. I'm not a kid. I stay in shape. I still run and lift.
52-year-old business person who doesn't invest in his own setup, but your own YouTube, 35 hours a day making money, but you can't pay people and you can't reinvest. You are a joke. But let's continue.
And lift weights and all that. But, you know, you get older, you get wiser, you get a little fatter. But
wiser? I don't think so. You can't even read O'Shea Duke Jackson. It's Dukes Jackson. So maybe you're like.
And there's another guy who's named O'Shea Dukes Jackson.
I don't know, amnesia, or what are you getting? Like, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of disease. Maybe it's okay.
Hopefully I'm able to fight that off. But one of the things I wanted to do was acknowledge these brothers and acknowledge what they're doing, you know, by saying congratulations on building a good YouTube following. I think that's great. But one of the other
Here comes the passive aggressiveness.
But one of the other things I would say to these guys is, and I see Eric Thomas says, JT's a good dude. Please don't trip about him. Y'all could be good allies, actually. O'Shea is a POS. What's a POS? I don't know what a...
Eric Thomas, yo mama is a POS. Continue.
I don't know what a POS is. You tell me what a POS is. But the thing about JT is that I actually watch some of JT's content. And I can appreciate to a point some of what JT does. Now, O'Shea Dukes, I've seen it. It's another celebrity gossip kind of thing. There's a whole lot of content like that. You know, a whole lot of people, you know, let's go talk bad about people and make things up and whatever, and that'll get views and clicks and clickbait. And it kind of caters to a lower vibrational frequency that a lot of our people are on. But
so let's go ahead and diminish me as a content creator and big up Pocket Watching with JT. That kind of divide and conquer rule. Listen. Pocket Watching with JT is an excellent, top-notch YouTuber. All right, we're not even gonna go there with you, which is what you're trying to do, right? Oh, let me just talk about this other guy and throw shots. Listen, low vibrational content. Didn't you have a video, Elon Musk, about LeBron James? I think even you and your wife right now are on live on this channel. Hold on 1 second, because you are live as I'm roasting you right now. And you're talking about man goes viral after being stood up on a date. Okay, that's the kind of stuff I talk about. So if I'm a low vibrational Negro, you are a low vibrational also. So you went to school for what, as a PhD in economics or finance, but you're talking about stuff like that. So who is the most low vibrational here? At least I admit I'm in the dust, all right? There's no doubt about that. But you're also in the dust. But let's get back to the lies.
But with JT, one of the things I want to mention here is that some of what I think they're doing, and the reason I'm taking the time to talk about this, you know, and I know, and I appreciate Marty. Thank you for your comment. He says you're at the top of your game, so you're a target for the haters. Do your thing. B1 got your back. Well, I appreciate it, Marty. Thank you so much.
B1 got your back. Like, the back of doing what? Bruh. Nothing?
So much. And it's partly because I'm comfortable with that I'm even talking about.
Listen, Boyce Watkins ain't B1. Boyce Watkins is B none. All right? He's B none. B fraud. B dusty. Be conning. Be babbling.
I'm even talking about this. You know, I'm comfortable enough, you know. I've done 22,000 videos, literally. I counted them up one time.
All of them are dusty. Every single one looks like this one. Dusty, dusty, dusty. 22,000 times you lived in the dust. You never spent $1 reinvesting into anything in this goddamn business, and you have 22,000 videos. So you're telling me you're the guy giving financial and business advice when you have a goddamn shower curtain with the Boyce Watkins stamp on it in the back of your house in a dusty office as a man who's a millionaire? Like, complete terrible business owner. Awful. Setup is trash. But let's continue.
22,000 videos, literally. I counted them up one time, and I've gotten almost 1 billion views on different channels. So I've done my part, right? I've done my part. I like seeing the younger guys jumping in and doing their thing. You know, I cheered on.
Bro, I've been doing this for like almost a decade now. You're not gonna sun me talking about a younger guy. You're just dusty and you're a liar. But don't even worry about it. We're gonna get back to the lies.
You know, I cheered on the guys from Earn Your Leisure. I love what those guys are doing. The Wall Street Trapper. Every time I talk to Trap, he always shows respect. He says, you know, you were one of the first ones to do this, and I appreciate you. And that's an honor for me because I like Trap and I respect him immensely. But so most of the young guys are really doing something that I think can be beneficial for the community. But one of the things I want black men to be careful about is allowing your competition or desire for a platform to cause you to do things that can be harmful and destructive to the community. Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying here.
Harmful and destructive to the community. Let's see what his reasoning is, because it's not going to make any sense, but let's go ahead.
And give me a yes if you can understand what I'm trying to say this with love and kindness. Here's the thing. One of the things that you got to be careful about doing, and JT does this, is they like to use the word scammer and everything else, and they kind of point out a lot of black-owned businesses as scams. And but one of the challenges that I've had consistently is I said I'd like to do a ratio of your channel and see how many of your videos have been about black-owned businesses versus how many videos of yours have been about white-owned businesses.
So here's what I wanted to get to that point. You see, in the black B1, I'm not even going to give him the credit to call him a B1 content creator, because there are really people out there who are black first. Boyce Watkins is D1. He's dusty first. So I don't want to offend people who really are B1. So Boyce Watkins is not that. Boyce Watkins is B none. And I'm going to tell you why it's B none. B none stands for no accountability in black American business sector, where you can do whatever you want to, lie, cheat, be a PhD in finance, and then you go and you endorse the Tulsa Real Estate Fund from a man who was a 3-time felon, who's never ran a fund, for a guy who went bankruptcy in the same year he was launching the fund. And his CFO, I believe, is also a criminal, 4 or 5 times arrested, no financial experience. And your rebuttal is to this, Dr. Boyce Watkins: I've never seen you make videos in the white sector. Well, let me ask you this. When you went to get the money and you went out and influenced the money, everybody I saw in that hotel was black. So now you're telling those same people who have questions about this fund, since it's not doing very well, why don't you go out and talk about the whites? The whites don't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about the blacks. Because see, there's no accountability in B none philosophy. You see, that's the whole problem. Once you get these B none creators, they talk to you about B1. They get in front of white folks and start laughing. Oh, I'm in Iceland in front of white people, in front of whites. Umar, on the plane with the whites, and I'm making fun of the white folks. It's all a joke. And then when it comes to accountability, the only people who can be held accountable are whites and black men. But black women and black business owners who scam like some of these guys do, there's no accountability. That's why it's B none, because there's no accountability. The question is, Boyce, are white people on trial right now or not? Because Jay Morrison ain't got nothing to do with white folks. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund was not marketed toward the white community. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund in itself is marketed to who? Blacks. How do we know it? Because of what? The Tulsa story. Okay? That's how we know. The historic nature of Black Tulsa. Okay? Let's continue.
Why are you afraid to really talk consistently about, melanin deficient people, if you know what I mean? Like, why?
Bro, you're in Iceland right now amongst melanin deficient people. That got nothing to do with the argument. Did you really get a PhD? Man, you're so... Let's get back to this. I don't want to get in trouble.
Like, why is that kind of a scary point? Now, I think that every now and then somebody might talk about Grant Cardone. I've talked about Grant Cardone. He asked to come on my platform. I told him no. Actually, I didn't tell him no. I told him if I can come on your platform first, you can come on mine. I never heard from him again. So
why do you want to go? So hold on, wait a minute. Mr. B1, why are you interested in even going on Grant Cardone's platform? Okay, because you want those white dollars too, right? So you want to be critical of white people's businesses and all that stuff, but you don't mind dealing with an alleged white scammer like Grant Cardone. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard certain things about him. I haven't looked into the videos. But you're going to offer that to him. I would never want to go on Grant Cardone's platform. For what? I'm in the black space. I'm good where I'm at. But let's get back to the lies.
I never heard from him again. So that was the end of the conversation with Grant Cardone, because I understand when somebody's trying to exploit me. I can see that, usually pretty well, because I've dealt with exploiters like the Yvette Carnells. And Yvette Carnell, by the way, I think she's kind of in alliance with the O'Shea Dukes and guys like that, because it's kind of like, okay, let's all get together and go attack somebody. But the problem that they're going to run into is that Yvette Carnell is a snake. She's an absolute.
What problem do you have? Like, I always notice you pick on Yvette Carnell. Let the record show. Yvette Carnell does not know me. Yvette Carnell has never reached out to me. I have never talked to her. I have never talked to Tone Talks or anything like that. I have noticed your ways for many years, and you just don't make any sense. So stop trying to act like we're ganging up on you and we're in cahoots against you. There are a lot of people who don't like you because of what you do. It has nothing to do with anything about Yvette being a snake. You always trying to preach that Yvette Carnell is some snake. Yvette Carnell is not on trial here. You are, bro. Yvette Carnell is not the problem here. You are.
She's an absolute snake. And if I was talking to these brothers, I would say, man, I wish I could show you how much trust I put in her, how much I supported her when she had no support, and the way she behaved. And Tone used to use my YouTube channel too. Like, I help these people. These are not haters from across the street. These are, or across the city. These are haters that literally lived in my house when they had nowhere to live. Like, I took care of them. I hooked them up when nobody else would.
And how is it that both of their channels, on average, is more active than yours? You created them, but then whenever she goes live, she has like thousands of people in the chat. Your ass has like 200 if you're lucky.
And so I would warn them, the same thing that she's done to other people is probably what she's going to do to you. So that would be kind of my public warning on that, because
he's not even addressing any of the arguments. Just, it's all a bunch of babble.
Because I'm telling you, why do you think the ADOS movement died? The ADOS movement died because Yvette's leadership, she's very petty.
Yvette and ADOS is not on trial here. We're talking about why you endorsed this guy who is a 3-time felon, who's never ran a fund, and now the fund has less than $1 million, and he paid himself $2 million in marketing in his own fund, which he has no marketing experience. Yvette, Tone, or whatever she did before, her being a snake is not on trial here. That's not to be debated. We're not talking about her. Let's get back to the topic.
Very petty. She's very nasty. She's kind of ridiculous and jealous. And my hope is that as black men, generally speaking, I know some people aren't going to hear it, and I get it, but as black men generally, I think we have to go from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. You know, a scarcity mindset is when you say, the only way I can be successful is if I take down that over there. If I take down that over there, I could be the king, right? An abundance mindset says we can collaborate, work together, and help each other succeed. And even if we don't agree, even if we get on the channel together and argue a little bit and debate respectfully, we can help the people who should be our first.
So what he's saying is, because we are critical of him, the information that we have is to take him down solely. It has nothing to do with his own proclivities or bad behaviors. We're doing this because we want to just take a down. That's the attitude that we have. Bro, I'm not even going to name the countless YouTubers that have come through my network, because that's not even important here for me to even defend myself. People who know me know the truth, okay? Now, the case is this. Nobody is even dealing with that. Let's deal with the fact that you made a mistake and you owe the black community an apology. Stop trying to make it be something else that it's not. But this is what your so-called B1s will do every time they use the community. These are B-nuns. They want no accountability. They want to be able to do whatever they want with your money, get you riled up, get you hyped up, say B1 scam, and then when something happens, start babbling.
From our interaction, right? So, for example, imagine if JT and I got together and we're talking respectfully about our views on the Tulsa real estate fund. I did put money in the Tulsa fund. I never became a paid endorser, so the implication that I was is absolutely false. So, right there, that's a problem. You can't assume that I am or make something up that simply is not true. I supported Jay because I support, I know JT said something about he's a 3-time felon and all that. A lot of black people are felons. A lot of black people got criminal records. I'm not saying that makes them good people, but I'm saying that doesn't always necessarily make them bad people. And so to say that a person should be written off because he's a 3-time felon, that clearly means that he committed a fraud. And there's been no prosecution to that effect.
It's not about him being a 3-time felon. That's also there. But what a 3-time felon will show is that you're willing to break the rules and break the law. That's firstly. But okay, he can be a 3-time felon. He can even go to jail for murder and get out. Like Bernard Hopkins was a felon. But Bernard Hopkins is successful in boxing. He became a multi-weight class champion. He was a promoter. He's still in boxing. He has experience in the industry. Jay is a 3-time felon with no experience in the industry of fundraising or managing funds. That's what we're dealing with. So when we bring up his background, to prove the point that he didn't go to MBA school, he didn't do any of that, and that he has questionable behavior patterns. That's why. Plus, he's already been accused of scams on the internet.
That effect, the SEC did a full investigation. They seem to find nothing. Well, why can't that be acknowledged? Why must it just become like, no, we still know he's a fraud. We still know he's a fraud. No, maybe he just ran a business that you don't agree with. Or maybe JT, this is what I would say to JT is, if you are just he'll use language that's real, that I can see through everything. I'm an analytical person.
You can see through everything with the fact that you endorsed a guy. Listen to this, bro. You, the PhD finance guy, endorsed a 3-time felon who went bankrupt right before announcing the fund, $13 million, paid himself $2 million in marketing. The fund is left with $800,000. Now the guy wants to be a preacher. How did that get through the cracks?
An analytical person. It's like I'm just a little country. I'm just a little country accountant from Pocahontas, Mississippi. That's what dude. He kind of plays that game with you, right? Like I'm just a humble country accountant. But then he'll go in for the jab, right? And I think they used to do that on I forgot what that show was.
Damn,
but there was a show where a guy would do that. He would say, I'm just a humble police detective who doesn't know much. But I'd like to ask you, where'd you put the murder weapon? Right? And it's kind of like, but
is that Matlock or the Andy Griffith show?
But here's the thing. I don't think he's just a humble, country boy from Mississippi, whatever he says he is. I think he's a certified financial analyst who could actually help these businesses if he sat there and talked to them. Seriously, if he talked to him, and I agree, sometimes there is a lot of blabbering, right? So
he said you're blabbering. Put that on the screen. He said he's blabbering. Boyce, you're so silly that you don't know he's talking about you. He's saying you're blabbering because it's what you always do. Now, what he's going to try to prove is, instead of JT criticizing scam artists, why don't he try to give them any advice to help these businesses, which would never work. This is another way of when blacks are in cahoots in deceitful business practices. Here's a way they can say, well, instead of, you calling it out, why don't you try to help them and give them advice that they will never use and take? Because it was never supposed to be successful in the first place. Let's continue.
There's a lot of blabbering, right? So the blabbering needs to stop. Why not help these businesses, right? Like again, this is something that I care near and dear about, because I wrote a book about that, the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And one of the things I talk extensively about is the research that says that black businesses don't survive because you attack them rather than help them. Do you get what I'm saying? If you want to see a black business do better, why not help the black business do better? Why not reach out and say, hey, brother, look, I see what you're doing. I don't like your layout. Let me help you. Let me support you. Like, I'm reaching out right now, like, to these guys. I'd say, look, if you want to talk to me, you can call me. Like,
nobody wants to call you, bro. I ain't gonna waste my damn time talking to you. For what? What you want to do, right? This is what B-nuns do. This is a almost fraudulent type thing. The way the wording is set up in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is that Jay can take the money once it's given to him, no questions asked. All right? Do you think that somebody can call him up and say, hey, let me help you because you're defrauding people, or it looks like a scam? This whole thing was set up in a way that was never supposed to be beneficial to black people in the first place. It was only supposed to benefit him. Here's another way of you saying, please don't tell the truth. Let black business do whatever the hell they want. Black businesses have to be good. When I come up on here on this channel and I produce my videos, I produce very good editing. I spend a lot of money in my studio doing what I do because I'm trying to keep and win the black support, because the subscribers that I have, they need to have good sound. They need to have good production, all of that. I don't want to make an excuse and give you a dusty ass product like Boyce does on his channels. And then say, well, why you didn't help us? Why didn't you tell me I can improve? I'm willing to have the conversation. It's another way of putting it to the back burner. He ain't even gonna answer the phone. Okay? Nothing will change. These guys have to be called out for them to change. Okay? They need to be embarrassed in order to change. They need to stop stealing from the blacks. Take that shit somewhere else, bruh. It's not cool what you have done in this community. It's not cool. I've been on YouTube for 8 years. I have never once had a GoFundMe or a let's raise money for a fund or raise money for this, taking black folks' money when you can work and get your money. But you don't want to work because you're lazy, you're a liar, you're a fraud, you're a thief, you're a crook. And this is what Boyce went on ahead and pushed out there for this other guy, Jay Morrison. Now you want to try to say, well, the reasons why black businesses fail because you criticize them. Everybody can be a critic of somebody, but black businesses are not good. Many of them. So you want support and you're not good? It's not enough to be just black. You have to actually deliver what you're talking about. And the black community in the black business sector don't want to deliver what you're talking about. You want to be mediocre and expect to get support. You want support, but you're not good. Look at Boyce Watkins and how he runs his YouTube channel. Do you see how there is no care, no investment? He's been doing this for 16 years and it still looks like that. But then he expects you to say, well, you know what? Why don't you call and let's have a conversation about how I can make it better? But yet he's making thousands of dollars every month, not doing the right thing. You see, that is called lying. It's lying. All right. Black businesses want to be supported and not do the actual work. And if you ever criticize black businesses, they want to be able to get away with murder. So that's why you can't support somebody in the black business world who doesn't have standards. Just because you're black don't mean you ain't got to be good. You still got to be good. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. We're out.